Welcome back to NT-Coin's world, the treasure chest of numismatics where each coin tells a story worth more than its face value. Today, we're diving deep into the world of Washington quarters, but not just any quarters. We're talking about two of the most interesting and historically rich Washington quarters ever minted. These aren't just coins you flip into a soda machine. These are pieces of American heritage, tucked away in drawers, hiding in pocket change, or waiting to be discovered at a garage sale. So buckle up, coin hunters, because we're about to uncover the secrets, the history, and the incredible collector value behind two standout coins, the 1968D and 1985D Washington quarter dollar coins. Trust me, by the end of this video, you'll be reaching for your coin jar, eyes wide open. Let's get started. The 1968D Washington quarter represents a unique moment in American coinage history. By the late 1960s, the coin landscape had changed dramatically. The silver era had officially ended and coins were now being struck in a new clad composition, introduced to address the rising cost and shortage of silver. The 1968D quarter was minted in Denver, as indicated by the D mint mark on the obverse side, and it marked just the third year of this new clad series. To fully understand the significance of the 1968D quarter, you need to know where it sits in the broader historical timeline. Just 3 years prior, in 1965, the US Mint made the monumental decision to transition from 90% silver coinage to copper-nickel-clad coins. The reason? The cost of silver was skyrocketing. Americans were hoarding silver coins, and that put a strain on the circulation of everyday change. So in came the new clad quarters, cheaper to produce, but still designed to retain the look and durability of their silver predecessors. Despite no longer containing silver, the Washington quarter's design remained the same. John Flanagan's original depiction of George Washington, based on a bust by Jean-Antoine Houdon, still stood strong on the obverse. Washington faces left with the word Liberty above his head and the date 1968 below his neckline. To his left, just above the date, is the D mint mark, clearly denoting its origin in Denver. And just above the date, in smaller font, sits the ever-persistent motto, "In God We Trust." Flipping the coin reveals the reverse design, which stayed consistent through 1998. Here, the powerful image of a heraldic eagle is centered, wings spread wide, perched on a bundle of arrows that signify strength and readiness. Beneath the arrows lies a pair of olive branches, symbols of peace. Above the eagle arches the phrase United States of America, with E pluribus unum placed in smaller text just below. The denomination quarter dollar curves along the bottom edge. In fine condition, the details on this coin are still easily distinguishable. The hair strands on Washington's bust are visible but worn. The lettering remains clear, and though the highest points of the eagle's wings may show some flattening, the overall look remains appealing to collectors who appreciate coins with character and circulation history. Now let's talk numbers, mintage figures that is. The Denver Mint produced a total of 101,534,000 Washington quarters in 1968. While that number may sound high, it's actually relatively modest compared to other quarters minted in subsequent decades. As a result, the 1968D has found a sweet spot in the collector market. It's not so rare as to be unattainable, but it's uncommon enough to stand out, especially when found in better grades or with notable errors. Speaking of value, let's break it down. In fine condition, which is a circulated grade showing moderate wear on the highest points, a 1968D quarter is typically worth slightly above face value, about $1 to $2 depending on the demand. However, the true value of this coin skyrockets when you find higher grade examples. In uncirculated condition, values can jump to $10, $20 or even more, especially if the coin is graded MS65 or higher by a third-party grading service like PCGS or NGC. But here's where it gets exciting. Error coins. The 1968D quarter has several known error varieties that can bring in significantly higher prices. One of the most sought-after errors is the double die obverse. While not as dramatic as the famous 1955 Lincoln cent, doubling can still be detected on letters like Liberty or In God We Trust. These errors, when authenticated, can sell for anywhere from $50 to several $100, depending on clarity and condition. Another fascinating error to look for is off-center strikes. These occur when the blank planchet isn't properly aligned during the strike. A 5 to 10% off-center 1968 D quarter can fetch around $25 to $75, while more extreme misalignments can climb much higher. Then there are clipped planchet errors where a portion of the coin's edge is missing, usually due to a malfunction during the cutting of blanks. These errors are also popular among collectors and can command impressive premiums. Die cracks and cuds are also collectible anomalies. These occur when the dies themselves develop fractures or chunks fall away, leading to raised lines or blobs on the struck coin. While these may seem like damage at first glance, they're actually highly collectible and valued for their uniqueness. Beyond errors and grades, what makes the 1968 D quarter compelling is its transitional nature. It embodies the early years of the modern clad coinage era and reflects the economic and material changes happening in the country. For collectors who are building typesets or who focus on post-silver era coinage, this coin is an essential piece. Collectors also enjoy hunting for full strike details. In 1968, the quality control at the Denver Mint was generally good, but not perfect. Coins with full, sharp details, especially in the eagle's feathers or Washington's hair, are scarcer and more desirable. These become especially important for collectors pursuing registry sets, where every point of detail matters. The appeal of this coin is further amplified when found in original mint sets. In 1968, the US Mint resumed issuing standard uncirculated mint sets after a 2-year hiatus during the transition to clad coinage. If you can find a 1968 D quarter still housed in its original mint cellophane packaging with original luster and untouched surfaces, the value and appeal increase dramatically. In summary, the 1968 D Washington quarter is a coin that balances historical importance, collector value, and potential for hidden treasures like errors and high-grade examples. Whether you're just getting started in coin collecting or you've been doing it for years, this quarter belongs in your collection not just as a gap filler, but as a milestone marker in modern American coinage. Next up, we have another classic. From the tail end of the 1985 D Washington quarter represents a coin from a vastly different era than its 1968 counterpart, though it bears the same overall design. By 1985, the Washington quarter had been minted continuously for over 50 years, and the US economy was in a period of recovery and growth following a volatile inflationary period in the 1970s. Ronald Reagan was president, the Cold War was still simmering, and Americans were living in an increasingly technological world. But through all this change, the quarter in your pocket still featured the same profile of George Washington, strong and steady, a symbol of consistency in a rapidly changing society. The 1985 D quarter was struck at the Denver Mint, which was by then producing large volumes of coins for circulation. The D mint mark on the obverse again tells us its origin, situated just to the right of Washington's ponytail and above the date. The obverse inscription remains unchanged, Liberty arched at the top, In God We Trust on the left, and the year 1985 below Washington's bust. The reverse continues with the iconic heraldic eagle, wings raised in strength, resting atop a bundle of arrows with olive branches beneath. The inscriptions United States of America, a pluribus unum, and $quarter remain in their traditional positions, unchanged for decades. Despite its familiarity, the 1985 D quarter holds interest for collectors not because of its rarity, but because of its context, quality variations, and surprising number of error types. The Denver Mint struck an impressive 519,962,888 quarters that year. That massive production figure means this coin is extremely common in circulation, but that's not the whole story. Coins from this year, especially in fine condition, typically show moderate wear. Washington's cheek and hairline will be smooth, and the eagle's breast and wing details may be lightly worn. However, coins that escaped heavy circulation and retained strong strike and clean surfaces are becoming harder to find as time passes. Even fine condition examples are appreciated for their nostalgia and role in defining 1980s American coinage. Market value for a 1985 D quarter in fine condition is modest, usually ranging from face value to about $1. However, just like with the 1968 D, the excitement begins when you find higher-grade examples or rare errors. In MS-65 condition, values can climb to $10 to $15, with coins graded MS-67 by PCGS or NGC fetching over $100 depending on eye appeal and luster. Among error collectors, the 1985 D quarter offers a field of opportunities. One of the more frequently encountered errors is the die clash. This happens when the dies strike each other without a plancher in between, leaving ghostly images of design elements transferred onto the opposing die. These errors can result in noticeable and intriguing impressions of reverse elements on the obverse or vice versa. Other collectible errors include off-center strikes and broad strikes. Off-center strikes, especially those exceeding 10%, are favorites among error enthusiasts and can fetch anywhere from $25 to $100, depending on the severity and eye appeal. Broad strikes, where the coin is struck without the collar that shapes its edges, result in a wider, flatter coin and are typically valued between $20 and $60. There are even some rare 1985 D quarters with doubled die features, though they are less prominent than in other years. Subtle doubling in lettering or digits, especially in God We Trust or the date, adds extra layers of interest and value. These require magnification to detect and can range in value from $30 to several $100 depending on the clarity and prominence of the doubling. Collectors who focus on registry sets also keep a keen eye out for full strike designation coins. Since Denver generally produced higher quality strikes in the 1980s compared to Philadelphia, many 1985 D quarters feature excellent detail, but not all were perfectly struck. Finding one with razor-sharp feather detail on the eagle and crisp features on Washington's hair and jawline makes for a standout coin in any collection. The 1985 D quarter also appeals to those who collect by decade or who focus on late 20th century American coinage. It's part of a generation of coins that many Americans remember using daily. Whether it's tied to childhood memories, vending machines, or toll booths, this coin resonates beyond its metal content. For younger collectors, it's a tangible connection to a pivotal era. In addition, coins found in original mint sets or in rolls preserved from bank vaults often exhibit exceptional surfaces, luster, and strike. These are where premium examples are most likely to be sourced. Collectors often search for these mint-state gems in hopes of building top population registry entries. Even though the 1985 D quarter might be considered a modern common coin, its story is still being written through the eyes of collectors, through rare errors, through condition rarities, and through the slow disappearance of sharp, uncirculated examples from circulation. Its high mintage doesn't detract from its numismatic appeal when viewed through the right lens. It's a coin that bridges the past with the present, one quarter turn at a time.